Everybody, we are so happy to have each of you here to come support these wonderful graduates of our inaugural industrial workforce program. And this is a new thing for all of us, and so we're very excited to have you here. And so no graduation is great unless there's a little bit of enthusiasm in the room. So let's give these all a hand here. You'll be able to have a lot more chances for applause as we go along here today. But we're very grateful to have every one of you here and the support. I'd like to recognize a few who are here, that some of our elected officials and some of the others who are part of our board here. First of all, my name is Tommy Hawes. I am the president of the Greater Gallup Economic Development Corporation. To give a little background, this industrial workforce program came out of many years of discussions when we were out talking to our business employers in the area. And one of the areas where we found there was a great need was some vocational training and opportunity in our area that could be flexible, adaptable, and be able to have a quick movement towards being able to find employment and jobs for people in our area that is so needed. And so this was our first kind of go around here with it, and I don't think any of us could have possibly imagined it could be so successful so quickly. And so I'm going to recognize a few people that have been part of that team to be able to do that. First of all, we have Joe Messich and Kent Wilson, who are members of our board, who have been great advisors in this process. One of their initial tasks was to go help us find someone who could run and train this program, and that's where Johnny Gonzalez comes along as our instructor and leader of this group, as our workforce development manager with the EDC. Johnny has hit the ground running and has done, in my mind, absolute miracles in being able to develop a curriculum in a record time, in my opinion, with the help of our team, to be able to do that. People like the Associated General Contractors helped a great deal, and we had input from some of our other partners. I'm going to let Joe talk some more detail about that, but Southwest Indian Foundation, I see Bill McCarthy out in the audience there hiding, and and Jeremy Boucher, who's their manager of the program, could not do it without each of these people. I'd like to also recognize Patty Lundstrom, who is our executive director and works very hard to kind of put all these pieces together. She also works very hard as a New Mexico State legislator. So as a citizen legislator, she's out in Santa Fe working hard there too and stuff. So it's a great thing to do that. So thank you. Secretary McCamley, Bill McCamley, is on the cabinet for the state of New Mexico for the Department of Workforce Solutions, and so we're very happy to have you here today, Secretary. And that's a big thing to have a secretary come down from Santa Fe and spend some time with us. Thank you for taking your time to be here. There's a few other members of my board that I'd like to recognize as well. I already introduced to you Joe Messich and Kent Wilson. We also have Rick Murphy. I don't know where Rick is. Rick was here. Yeah, Rick's over here with us. Grateful to have him here. And then Tony Tanner is also on our group. We have him as well too. So we have a couple of other members, Patrick Mason and Mayor McKinney and Yogesh Kumar, who are also part of our board as well. And it's a great team to be part of, and one of the great highlights of my civic duties and responsibilities. We have a few people that are elected officials from the county. I'd like to recognize two of our county commissioners, Commissioner Billy Moore and Bill Lee. And also from the city, we have Councilors Alan Landavazo and Fran Polishek that are here with us. Still wave. There they are. Thank you for being here. We have some other introductions that will be had in a little more detail here in a little bit with when Joe gets up. But first, I'd like to introduce, as part of our leadership team, Mr. Kent Wilson, who is going to share a few remarks about the importance of an industrial workforce.
Thank you, Tommy. Good afternoon. The reason I took my coat off is because I'm real proud of this shirt I'm wearing. This is a shirt that Joe Message and I get to wear as being part of the leadership team for this new adventure in our workforce development program. I'm real proud of it because it represents Gallup, McKinley County, and our new workforce development team. You might wonder why workforce development is important, has an important sounding name, doesn't it? I just read in the last 24 hours that there's 3.7 million truck drivers in the United States. Of course, all I had to do is look out at I-40 and see half of them going one way and half of them going the other. But in spite of 3.7 million employed truck drivers, the United States is 400,000 truck drivers short, and having to bring men and women from foreign nations into the United States on work contracts to drive trucks, jobs that should be going to local people in local communities, could be going. In the welding industry, the United States is 600,000 welders short. They're being brought in from foreign countries to work jobs in shipyards, refineries, piping industry, boiler, pressure vessel industry. I don't know how many are employed in the aerospace industry, but enormous opportunities for local people properly trained in local communities. Workforce development attracts business. When the more qualified workforce we have, in addition to this new class that's entering the workforce, the more business opportunities there are, not just for local business to expand and stimulate the local economy, but to attract new business. We've certainly got opportunities in Gallup, McKinley County to build new business, to attract light, medium, and even heavy manufacturing. And we need to train our workforce to be eligible and qualified to go to work in the trades that Tommy referred to. And perhaps Joe Message can talk about shortages in the electrical industry as well as the plumbing industry. The construction industry needs new workers, not just in our county, but throughout the state of New Mexico. And so there's job opportunities, but without training available for the local workforce, how are people going to be able to change a career and move into a career in the trades that they've wanted to their whole life? And they're trapped perhaps and stuck in a job that they can't get out of. And we at Gallup, Greater Gallup Economic Development, see this as an opportunity to bring a solution to Gallup McKinley County and make it more valuable to local and to attract new business to our community. So I'm very excited to see the number of graduates that came through our first class. I got to work with them. Great group of people. Was I surprised? No, not really, because I believe in the people in this county and in this community and their capability to go to work if they're given a chance. And so it's important to us. It's important to you. as family members to be supportive of them, as well as supportive of local business. Thank you very much.
Will you forgive me if we can back up just a little bit and do what I was supposed to have done before? I didn't even notice on our program that I was supposed to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Will you all stand and we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance together? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I apologize for not putting it in its proper place. We have some special presentations now. We're going to turn some time over to Jonathan Gonzalez, who is the GGEDC Workforce Development Manager and also is the trainer with the Greater Gallup Industrial Workforce Program. And I'll let him introduce those that are going to share class experiences as well. After the class leaders have shared some class experiences with what they're doing, then we will go to turn some time over to Joe Messich for some remarks and recognition of this leadership team, and then we'll go to that point.
Hello, thank you for coming. My name is Johnny Gonzalez. I am the Workforce Development Manager for the Greater Gallup Economic Development Corporation. I also help run and train the Greater Gallup Industrial Workforce Program. This program came through because it was necessary, but these people made it happen. These people up here have been phenomenal. The curriculum we built was not easy. It's 10 weeks to figure out 5 to 6 months worth of training and to be in a position to get a job that's going to be life-changing. And these folks took that challenge on, head on, and they came out on top. And I couldn't be prouder than I am for every single person up on this stage. But they wouldn't be able to do it without y'all that are sitting out here in the crowd right now. So I want to give y'all a round of applause for your support. This curriculum involves a lot of industrial trades and involves operation of hand tools, power tools, heavy equipment, welding, and it's based on pass or fail. And if you don't make it, you can't graduate. And everybody here started from day one and has made it all the way through. Together, they've done over 4,000 hours of service and training. Cumulatively, they've run heavy equipment with Billy Moore. They've done welding with Kent Wilson. They've been part of the community. They've done outreach. They've done building with Southwest Indian Foundation. And I don't think any one of them is ready to stop. So seeing that new life and that new, that instilled vigor of a new beginning is phenomenal, and it's great to see. These two people that I'm bringing up now are leaders within this group, and they stood out and they were always there to lend support and help, and a helping hand or a word of push. And Floyd Shea and Daniel Jaramillo have been standouts, so we're going to bring them up and let them say a couple of words about the class.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Daniel Jaramillo. This program is an accomplishment to have as much as an asset to own. I went from being a mediocrely skilled to knowing and mastering skills, gaining knowledge and certifications I'm proud of and worked hard to obtain. I learned a lot about safety and industrial equipment that I had little to no knowledge at all at the beginning. Now that I'm able to be needed in the industrial field as a qualified operator wherever I please. I think this program is very beneficial to anyone wanting to expand their knowledge, not only in the industrial field, but for themselves, to make a better person for themselves and motivate others into becoming certified operators for whatever fields they are interested in. You could be a jack of all trades, but at the same time come out with more knowledge and bigger expectations than you thought you had inside you. I highly recommend the Greater Gallup Industrial Workforce Program because this program will change your life. Thank you.
First of all, I want to thank God for this day. Without His grace and mercy, I wouldn't be here. And secondly, I want to thank the Workforce Connection and Greater Gallup Industrial Program staff for giving me this opportunity to be a part of this great group of people who I have become acquainted with like family. I wish them all the best of luck with their careers from this day forward as they set out to accomplish their goals. I also like to thank Johnny for his time and effort to make this group a great team. I personally think he has done a great job providing the necessary tools to build up my confidence and to look forward to the good things that life can offer. All in all, this class has benefited me with the possibilities and opportunities to excel to a greater achievement in the industrial trades. Thank you.
Daniel and Floyd will be interviewing with Marathon this week coming up, Marathon Petroleum. We have placements for everybody in this class, and so with this group being the very first group, we will end up with 100% placement. So I want to bring up Joe Message. He's going to address our leadership team. Thank you.
Thanks, Johnny. My name is Joe Message. I'm president of Advanced Technical Services here in Gallup. I'm one of the leadership team members for this endeavor. My job today is to, number one, welcome everyone here, and congratulations to everybody sitting right here for a job well done. Putting in 10 weeks of the curriculum that we brought forth is not easy, and I'd like to compliment everybody for sticking with the program. I think it's going to be tremendous on what you guys are going to do for the rest of your life. What I'd like to do is thank the leadership team and the members of this organization that helped put this together. Number one would be Tommy Hawes, who is the president of the Greater Gallup Economic Development Commission. Mr. Kent Wilson, who already spoke to you, he's one of my cohorts in this. Mr. Johnny Gonzalez, who, without Johnny and his unending willingness to put in hours after hours of hard work and dedication to make this a reality, we could not have done this without him. We do also like to thank Mr. Bill McCamley for coming from Santa Fe to help welcome the graduates and do a little presentation to them for a job well done. We'd also like to thank the business members that without their participation in what we are doing, this never could have happened. Four Corners Welding and Gas Supply, Mr. Kent Wilson. Escalante Generating Station, also known as Tri-State. El Segundo Mine, also known as Peabody. Marathon Petroleum Corporation. McKinley Paper. Murphy Builders, Mr. Rick Murphy. Mark Lee with Rhino Health. Southwest Indian Foundation, Jeremy Doucet and Bill McCarthy. Without them and letting us use their facility to make sure that we had a place to go for the students is one of the most valuable things that we could have obtained from them. So we do thank you. New Mexico Department of Workforce Solutions for backing the program 100%. and also Mr. Billy Moore from the Northwest New Mexico Regional Solid Waste Authority for letting us use his facility and his equipment to help train these individuals. That's pretty much what I have to say. I'd like to thank everybody again for coming, thank the partners, the graduates, and our leadership team, and the members sitting up here on this stage for what I consider a job well done. Thank you.
I'd like to once again bring, he's been introduced. I'd like to bring forward Secretary Bill McCanley, who is the Cabinet Secretary for the New Mexico Department of Workforce Solutions, appointed by Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham. Secretary, thank you.
How's everybody doing? All right? Yeah? All right, good. So just want to say congratulations before we start on y'all. Congratulations to the community. So I am the Workforce Solutions Secretary. I'm the Labor Secretary. And the governor wants programs like these around the state. And usually I have to go in with a sledgehammer knocking people's heads together to try to get them to do this sort of thing, because this is not something that's been done regularly. You all did it by yourselves. You recognized there was an issue. You went to the business community and said, what are your needs? You put together the program, and the success is evident. So you guys should give yourselves a big round of applause, because this is something we don't see everywhere. To you guys, you have done it. This is a big deal. Now, why is this a big deal? As has been said, we need a lot of people in the United States with skills, and those skills need to happen after high school. 97% of the jobs created in the United States after 2010 require more than a high school degree. Now, you don't need to go get a PhD. You can get a welding certificate. You can learn how to do carpentry. You can figure out how to operate heavy equipment. And with these skills, you all will be able to choose where you want to go, because there's a lot of jobs that need you. So congratulations. Now, usually when I come to these things, they say, do you have advice for the graduates? And people are like, yeah, all those things all over. You hear this all over again. But I will say 3 things, okay? First off, celebrate your wins in life, and this is one of those things. Our brains are really, really good at focusing on things that we're frustrated about, or we felt like we didn't do well, any of those things. We're really bad at complimenting ourselves. We're really not very good at saying, hey, I did that right. So when you get wins like this, when you get victories where you did something that was hard and you got through it, and the reward is you're going to be able to get a good job, cherish those wins. It's a big deal, and give yourself credit for it. The second thing is that you don't do anything in a vacuum. Nobody succeeds without some kind of team. As you get out here today, and you know all those folks that are out here today, take 5 seconds to thank someone who helped you out. It costs you absolutely nothing, but it could mean the world to somebody else. So take the time and effort to do that, all right? Lastly, realize that every single day, especially with these skills that y'all have learned, you're going to have the chance to not only make some decent money for yourself, but make the world a better place. Y'all who are going to work for Marathon, we run on energy. Without the energy that you're going to be helping transport, the country doesn't run. Y'all are going to go work for Mark and Rhino. You're going to be putting together surgical gloves, manufacturing gloves, right? My girlfriend is a medical tech. She wears those things every day when she does mammographies and MRIs. And the stuff that you're going to be making keeps her and all the patients that she works with safe. These things are hugely valuable, and they're real, and they mean something. So realize that every single day, you all are going to have a chance to do something, even if it's a little thing, to make the world better. And that is a special, wonderful, real thing. So congratulations. We're so stoked for you. We're really excited for the community. Congratulations. And when you get this award, go out and change the world, all right? Thank you all very much.
Well, it's now time to get some certificates distributed. So we'd like to have Secretary McCanley, Kent Wilson, Jonathan Gonzalez, and Bill McCarthy come help distribute, or is Jeremy going to?
Did Jeremy talk a little?
Jeremy can talk all he wants. Jeremy, come talk. The only thing an agenda is a suggestion anyway, right? So we'll have Jeremy say a few words, and then we're going to present some certificates with them, and we're going to have a little thank you row here. You're going to get tired of shaking hands, but we're going to do that.
Okay, we have some certificates and a little gift for the graduates. These guys have been fantastic. They've jumped into our system with all of its quirks and minor bumps in the road with a great attitude. They've worked so well with my staff, and they've essentially been responsible for the construction of the total construction of one 2-bedroom home for a homeless family on the Navajo reservation. So as far as accomplishments go and changing the world, you guys did that. So a round of applause, please. So, I want to thank you guys for that. And I also just wanted to thank a couple of people over here. I just wanted to actually echo the secretaries. He stole my thunder a little bit because. So here's the thing. I've been in Gallup for 12 years, and I've gotten to know the community pretty well, I think. And Gallup has challenges. Some of them not totally unique, but the causes of most of our challenges, I think, are unique. And so I just want to thank Patty and her team, Jonathan, and the whole board, Gallup Economic Development Committee board, for, I feel that's kind of what we do in Gallup is like, we see a problem, we're going to fix it. And because we understand what the solution, the best fix for it. And you guys have just taken that on. Sometimes you got to ruffle a little feathers, that's okay. And the result is fantastic. So I just want to, another round of applause for you guys, Patty and everybody. Thank you very much. Okay, now without further ado, so this is a certificate of appreciation in recognition of your excellent contribution to Operation Footprint. Now again, Operation Footprint is the program that Southwest Indian Foundation has been doing for almost 20 years now, and we build and donate homes to homeless families on the Navajo Reservation. And so we've done almost 300, and again, these guys were responsible for the construction of one over the last 10 weeks or so. So we just are really appreciative of your guys' effort, and we also wanted to get you just a little something to kind of get you jumped into to your next, the next place. Just something little, but something. So, if I could have Anderson Skis come up, please. Good luck, man. Thank you. Okay. Let me do this here. Armand Martin, please. Oh, not here. Okay. We'll save this for later. Thanks. Kyle Manuelito. Kyle. Regina B. Regina, thank you very much. You're welcome. Thank you. Floyd Shade. Should we say Floyd Shades? Good job. Daniel Jaramillo. We've seen Daniel. Everyone knows Daniel. Vanessa Shibula. Shirley Lynn. Lamar Thompson. Good luck. Roland Jacob. Jason Floyd. Michelle Pat, last but not least. Thank you very much. Congratulations. Good job. Okay, another round of applause. Thank you guys. Well done.
read them out. Actually. All right, so now it's the presentation of certificates. Do you want to go in your order?
Yeah. So, can you all hear me? We good? All right. So these are actually certificates of completion from the New Mexico Department of Workforce Solutions. And what it says is, presented to your name for satisfactorily completing a pre-apprenticeship industrial trades training program in the fields of heavy equipment, carpentry, manufacturing, and introduction to pipeline industry, in accordance with the National Center for Construction Education and Research, as well as the Greater Gallup Industrial Workforce Program Standards. The New Mexico Department of Workforce Solutions hereby recognizes that program requirements and completions have been met, given on the state of New Mexico this 13th day of December 2019. And we would like to start with Jason Mitchell. Lots of things you can put in frames. It's good. Next we have Regina B. We're giving you like first hand and how to run for office by shaking everybody's hand. Next one up is Lamar Thompson. Next up is Shirley Lamb. And the next up is the man with a very attractive haircut, Floyd Shea. Our next certificate goes to Michelle Pack. Our next certificate goes to Anderson Skeets. Our next certificate goes to Rollins Jacobs. I'm jealous of his. Our next certificate goes to Vanessa Shavola. And our last recipient today is Kyle Manuelito. I missed one. I'm a bad person. And last but certainly not least is Daniel Hadamia. Can we get one more round of applause for everybody? We also have a small token of our appreciation for the supports, both either curriculum, financially, or otherwise, or both, to some of our partners. These were recognized earlier by Joe, but wanted to thank them individually and give them something to take home with them for their business to do that. First, Johnny, you want to hand these out as I announce them? Would that work? And if representative from each group could come up and accept our gratitude. Advanced Technical Service, Joe Message. We won't make Valerie walk up here, huh? But we know who really runs that place. Four Corners, Welding and Gas Supply, Mr. Kent Wilson. I'm not sure if we have a representative from Escalante here, do we? I believe we do. Or El Segundo. We don't have no representation here, but we'd like to thank them and recognize them. Scott from Marathon Oil, if you could join the corporation, if you could come up. Thank you. McKinley Paper, we're grateful to have you here with us today, too. Rick, if you could come up and accept for Murphy Builders, and then bring Mark with you, because he's next. So first, Rick Murphy with Murphy Builders, and then Mark Lee with Rhino Health. Thank you very much. Southwest Indian Foundation. We're going to let Bill pick it up, or are you going to make... yeah, let's let Bill come. Jeremy's done all the work today. We got to have... Thank you, Bill. Who else we got? Is that it? Peabody and Tri-State there. But also, we had also recognized, we have Department of Workforce Solutions, and obviously Billy Moore with the Northwest Regional Solid Waste Authority. We're grateful for all the support that each of you have given. One more big round of applause for both our graduates and our supporters. And I'll end with this, just a couple of things. Do you know how significant it is to have 100% placement from the very first graduating class? I don't know
it exceeded my expectations with that, and to have that opportunity that they'll get placed is an amazing thing. When we first started the Greater Gallup Economic Development Corporation years ago, we formed our board. We didn't even know exactly what we were doing. Honestly, we said, well, we know we want economic growth. We want to strengthen things, and so along the way, we've had to learn what we did not know. That might sound a little obvious, but there's a lot of things that we had to react to because we did not know that they needed to be done. Part of those things were, we would say, hey, we've got an asset or a land to recruit a company to, but then the questions came, well, how much are utilities, and how are we going to get water there, and and suddenly like, oh, we got to be experts in that. And then the companies would ask other questions, and one of the things that came out of what we call a business retention and expansion program is we individually would go out and talk to businesses that are economic-based employers in McKinley County, and we said, what keeps you up at night? What do you worry the most about? And over and over and over again, there was a worry that they could not keep, and train good employees, and that there wasn't a program to be able to do that. And so, a little bit reluctantly, and not that we were anxiously looking to get into the workforce development, we worked with several different methods and paths to try to make this work, and then we realized, I think we can do this ourselves. Our board came together and says, I think we can pull something together ourselves. We can partner strategically with the key people to do that. So when we first started the process, we said, oh, we're going to apply for some grants, or we're going to apply for some other things to be able to do this. And every single time they said, you'll be lucky to get 10 graduates in the first year and a half, maybe 2 years. And that's a big goal. And today, 12 in the first 6 months or less. That was from zero. No curriculum, no books, no place, no employee, no none of it. It was completely from scratch. But Johnny came to us from Tupelo, Mississippi, and said, I know how to do things. And he did things. And Kent and Joe and others that came together with AGC and with Marathon and with others and said, here's a piece you need to understand. Here's a part that needs to be part of your program. Here's where it is. And I don't know if you had the chance to look, and maybe you can see if we have some of those books still over here at the reception. Look at the curriculum they developed. It did not exist a few short months ago, a few short weeks ago. And now it could be something that could be easily used anywhere in the United States, and particularly in the state of New Mexico. Because a team came together and said, we're going to get something done. I'm very proud of them. I'm very proud to have seen what has happened there. It's a professionally developed program that is easily transportable. Jeremy talked about some of the problems that are sometimes evident in a community like us, one of the poorest counties and one of the poorest states in the country. And sometimes poverty has a lot of incident problems that come with it, that we see all around us all the time. But anybody that's ever listened to me for more than 10 minutes talk about why we do the things we do here at the Greater Gallup Economic Development Corporation, it's because of this. There has not been a single social program ever invented that's better than a job. A job lifts people out of poverty. It gives them pride, gives them understanding, gives them ability to help other people, lifts a whole family up and out. And so to get 12 new job holders with new earning potential and new ability to grow out of anything that's there is, to me, an emotional thing, not just a logical thing. It's both things to me. I get very emotional when I think about what we're trying to do to help people, to help families. And a job is the greatest thing that can do that. This is why when a gentleman like Mark Lee that's bringing outside investment to our community to help grow jobs in our thing makes me happy. Not because just, oh yeah, it's nice to have jobs and have that. It's because people's lives change with jobs. So to the graduates, a lot of times graduation is called commencement. right? You've seen that. We're going to have commencement exercises. That's because this is the beginning, not the end. We feel, go ahead and celebrate, like the Secretary said, celebrate these key milestones in life, but this is the beginning. Those pieces of paper you have might open a door, but that's all they'll do. Because once you're in the door, it's then up to you to do everything else, to keep you inside the door. I say this to people all the time. Education is like a key that unlocks doors. But work ethic and character and all the other things that come with being a valuable employee will make you stay as being able to have that job. And so I commend you, I congratulate you, and I encourage you to keep going on this. This is not the beginning of the end, it's the end of the beginning. And so now as you begin new things, great things will happen. And to you families and friends and other supporters, they couldn't have done it without you. You know what that's like. Probably had to pry them out of bed some mornings, get them going on tough days. But this is exciting. We're grateful to have each of you here to support this inaugural graduating class. And I thank you for all these things, to be part of this great group, all of us as a community, to grow our wonderful, wonderful greater Gallup area. Thank you very much, and have a great afternoon.
So I'm going to read the student's name. They'll walk out, and I'll read again, all these students are placed or have the potential to be placed into positions that are going to change their lives. They have the opportunity for interview, which is their start. We can get them to the door, but they got to reach and open it. And everybody has the opportunity to do that, which is awesome. So we have Michelle Pat, Marathon Petroleum. Regina B., Rhino Health. Shirley Lynn, Rhino Health. Vanessa Shibola, Rhino Health. Kyle Manuelito, GIMC. Floyd Shea, Marathon Petroleum. Daniel Jaramillo, Marathon Petroleum. Anderson Skeets, Stone Materials. Jason Mitchell, Rhino Health. Rollin Jacob, Marathon Petroleum. Lamar Thompson, McKinley Paper. So I want to end it with a big and huge thank you. Thank you for supporting these folks, for supporting this program, and for being there for all these people when I had a hard time and took it out on them. When they came home, I'm sure it was not easy, so thank you very much. We are going to have a reception right next door here, so if y'all want to go around and come through the front doors this way, we will see you over there. Thank you very much for coming.